California law streamlines on-campus housing development to ease student crisis. Santa Cruz, California. A new California law aims to cut through bureaucratic red tape and accelerate the creation of much-needed housing on university and college campuses, especially in coastal regions where approval processes have historically slowed projects to a crawl. Assembly Bill 357, known as the Student and Faculty Housing Success Act, was spearheaded by Assemblymember David Alvarez, D. San Diego, in partnership with student advocacy groups including the Student Homes Coalition and the UC Student Association. It was signed into law earlier this year as part of a broader legislative push to address the state's severe housing shortage. Shorter approvals in coastal zones. One of the biggest hurdles for universities in coastal California has been the California Coastal Commission's permitting requirements, which often add lengthy review timelines, even for minor changes to long-range campus development plans. AB 357 tackles this by empowering the Coastal Commission's executive director to determine when proposed amendments are de minimis, meaning small enough that they won't significantly affect coastal resources, and can be approved through a streamlined process. Critically, the law also clarifies that universities and colleges can set parking requirements for student, faculty, and staff housing projects themselves rather than defer to the Coastal Commission. Supporters argue this change will lower construction costs and allow campuses to dedicate more space to housing rather than costly parking structures. Responding to a housing shortfall. California's student housing crisis has reached acute levels. At many campuses, demand far outstrips supply, leaving students to compete in overheated off-campus rental markets or face insecurity and homelessness. Advocates hope that by shortening approval timelines and reducing regulatory barriers, campuses can bring housing online more rapidly and at lower cost. Tens of thousands of students experience homelessness every year in California, said Kate Rogers, policy director and co-chair of the Student Homes Coalition. Rogers noted that coastal campuses like UC Santa Cruz and UC Santa Barbara have especially struggled with housing shortages, and supporters believe AB 357 will help get projects moving sooner and more efficiently. Part of broader housing reform. AB 357 didn't pass in a vacuum. It joins a flurry of recent housing legislation in California designed to reduce red tape and accelerate housing production statewide. Earlier this year, California enacted laws, including Assembly Bill 648 and AB 893, that expand the ability of community colleges to build housing on their own land and create campus development zones that invite more streamlined review for housing near college campuses. Advocates argue the combined effect of these bills could significantly increase housing availability for students, faculty, and staff across the state, an effort seen as vital not only to student well-being but also to long-term economic growth and access to education. Looking ahead. While the reforms are promising, some critics caution that streamlining approvals must be balanced with environmental safeguards and local community input. Nevertheless, for many students who have struggled with rising rents and limited options, the new laws offer a hopeful path forward. As California continues to grapple with one of the worst housing shortages in the nation, AB 357 and related laws represent a targeted approach to an entrenched problem, bridging legislative action with grassroots advocacy to unlock housing where it's needed most.